So Hodo, it's born out of the fact that I couldn't find good tofu in the US. I grew up in the Bay Area, and about a decade and a half ago, I started having a desire to cook and all kinds of theme meals. And I chose tofu one time, and it turned out I couldn't find the tofu that I grew up eating in Vietnam. So I thought, this is silly, and I'm gonna make tofu as a result. To do that, I had to leave my white-collar job as an investment banker. Becoming an operator of a business, it's really cool because I get to solve all kinds of problems, from operations to finance to sales. So tofu making, it's not complicated, but as with anything, I had to learn it. One of the words I learned quite recently that I think is applicable to someone like me is called an autodidact, which is someone who just inherently curious all the time and want to learn something new. I'm good in that I try to solve problems. So when I was fascinated and when I had a passion for tofu, I did learn how to make tofu. And not only did I learn how to make it from an artisan standpoint, because where do you go to learn how to make tofu, right? You have to go to a tofu shop. And most of the people that make tofu have learned it from someone else. So it's very much like a mentorship. But what I like to do is really turn the art of tofu making into the science as well, and that's what we practice here. To establish a company and to do it well, the first thing you need to do is to make a good product. So I put a lot of passion into making a tofu that is delicious. Once that's established, it's really just getting it out there, getting the chefs and getting the consumer to validate that. And we continue to do that to this day. Now, the tofu we make today, we continue to educate people about what's different about it. Why is it tastier than the commodity tofu in the marketplace? It's a constant process of educating the consumer, and that's our job. Part of what we do from a marketing and education front, it's really to bust a lot of the tofu myths on one hand, especially in America. Like if you grew up in Asia, tofu is just part of everyday life. Here in America, we have these binaries, vegan, versus, meat eaters, vegetarians. So what I like to do is basically try to make tofu from a pantry standpoint more seamless. To do that well, I need to collaborate with chefs and basically teach them about this amazing ingredient and rely on their creativity to put together dishes for their restaurants.
Working with Hodo Soy products is definitely exceptional. The craftsmanship, the details, and ingredients, and nothing best. It's made here in Oakland, right in our backyard. So, you can't get any more local than that. We can use it in fine dining and present tofu in a different way that you don't normally see. That's a square block or a cube. Tofu's elegant, textures, silky, a whole wide range of tofu products out there. And it's, and having Hodo Soy making the different types of Yubas now gives us more range in our kitchen to play around with as far as conceptualizing dishes, playing with different textures, and having an exceptional flavor. Usually tofu is something that's, it's just bland. It tastes chalky, it tastes milky, but with Hodo Soy, it's like, wow, you really get the depth of what tofu should be, and definitely sets the bar for what tofu is.
Some people ask me, why Yuba and why introduce Yuba to America? I actually started Yuba because I couldn't find fresh Yuba. Most of the tofu skin that I found are the dry ones in the supermarket. And after I found out how they're made and the condition where they're being produced, I didn't want to use them anymore. So I wanted to make fresh Yuba. I think to start a business, you have to be willing to take risks. The advice I would give is take the risks. It's okay to fail because you're going to learn a lot from it. You can always go back to the job that you studied for. And if you work hard, that's wonderful. But if you have a vision, then you should definitely try to execute it. And generally, you'll find a lot of support from your peers and also from the people in the industry.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.